Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the WGL EU Week 10 match day, number 2, of course, our last day of this week. And well, Supreme and Virtus Pro, what a game that was indeed, man. It really delivered. We sort of gushed about it a little bit beforehand, but tactically, it probably was one of the best demonstrations we've seen all season.
Yeah, until those final 2 rounds, and Virtus Pro threw everything to the wind, threw caution to the wind, went full YOLO on mines, went full YOLO on steps, and gave those 2 crucial rounds away. So, I mean, Team Supreme walk away with another win. Probably uncatchable now, almost certainly uncatchable by any of these teams. So they all will be going to the Season 1 finals in first place, of course, automatically. And, you know, Virtus Pro having lost that game, I don't know. I don't think they can make it to the finals in that first or second place. Of course, we'll find out today once Synergy and Kazakru do play.
That's right, of course. We still have a few more games to be resolved before we know exactly how that's going to work out. But speaking of this next one, it's going to be Synergy, a team who is still with a chance in for those sort of top rankings here. It depends on a lot of things over the next week or so. And Stronk Siema as well, who honestly, after an interesting start to the season, a team that maybe didn't back themselves fully, have come in at 4 and 5 here so far, sitting in 9th place, going up against Synergy, 6 and 3 in 5th.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at the rankings, we can see that Stronk Siema aren't in a particularly good location to go even into the playoffs. I mean, if they get the 3 points here, which is, in my opinion, unlikely because of the importance of the game for Synergy, they will still have to win the next round after that as well. So, I mean, it's possible for Stronk Siema. I'm sure they know that, and that's why they'll be probably preparing very heavily for this match and playing as well as they can.
That's right. A lot on the line here, of course, for Synergy as well, trying to set themselves up here. Last game, of course, for Stronk was that one against Virtus Pro, where we saw Virtus Pro start to come back a little bit, show a little bit more of their former selves and win that one 5-2. And, of course, Synergy took down Woosa in their last game as well. So Synergy coming off a win here. The new look, Synergy as well. Let's talk about that one a little bit quickly before we get into it. Not Stalker's no longer their caller anymore. It's now John Corleone. Yeah. Are we seeing a different Synergy? A better, worse?
I think in the last 2 games without Stalker, especially that game against Woosa, I have to say they're better. I think in the previous games we've seen Synergy play, they started very well. You know, very good tactics. They seem to have done a lot of homework. But as soon as they lose one round, it all goes to hell, and Synergy ends up losing. So without that Stalker factor, I think you'll see Synergy a little bit more consistent.
Okay, so consistency is really key at this part of the season here as well. Now, our first map for the night is going to be Ghost Town. One we haven't seen a great deal of sort of earlier on in the season, started to sort of appear in some tiebreakers, and Stronk Siema, one of the Polish teams that really took to this map quite a lot. Yeah,
I mean, Utopia and Stronk Siema, they actually went on this map against each other. Of course, Utopia managed to win it because it's their map, but yeah, this is a dangerous one for them. A dangerous time for Synergy, and I'm sure they know it, and they have to have done their homework because they haven't played it this season so far.
Okay, well, it's time to see that one, of course, in just a moment. But before we go into this one, we did catch up with the very softly spoken Guccio from Stronk Siema and got a few of his thoughts. We collected them up, and here we have them on this match against Synergy.
Team Synergy is stronger than we were thinking. They beat Virtus Pro, which shows us they have much skill and they can beat top teams from Pro League. But we played a lot matches in Silver League against them. We know them well, and we can beat them too.
Well, yeah, Guccio definitely believes that his team has the potential to beat them. He recognises they've got a lot of skill there, but again, you know, this is Synergy have had some strange results over the sort of some parts of the season. I said it probably a couple of weeks ago. They are one of the hardest teams to predict.
Yeah, Synergy is so unpredictable. When they're on form, they're unbeatable. With their positional play is very strong. They're an excellent team. As Guccio mentioned, that result against Virtus Pro is always one we've got to mention, but yeah, Virtus also threw that game, in my opinion, in many respects. So yeah, it's going to be a tough matchup. I think it does depend a lot on that first match. On that first match, which of course is going to be Ghost Town. How much preparation has Synergy done? Is Stronk Siema going to be as good as they've been in the past? And, you know, how much does Stronk Siema really want to get themselves in a position where they can actually qualify for those finals?
Yeah, that's right. You know, they also want to keep themselves out of the relegation zone as well, if they can. That's super important. Definitely don't want to be last and later. I don't think there's too much of a risk of that one right now. But we're starting on Ghost Town, and Melly, Ghost Town has given us some of our most interesting sort of clashes all season. I mean, will that affect the voting here? Obviously, we've seen the Poland Balls go head-to-head with a lot of teams on Ghost Town with some reasonable results here. Surely people have got to be getting behind them.
Hopefully, we already saw community members that put so much effort in keeping track of the scores and of the matches, how they went, in which ratio, how many maps, how many rounds, which maps, and whatever. We saw a full Excel spreadsheets from Asset, our community members, so I bet they're taking this into account. And I'm kind of sad that we see Ghost Town so rarely, to be honest, because it's a nice map and it delivered good matches so far, so I really can't wait for this one to happen. But the community already voted. The vote is online. People head over to facebook.com/WGLEU if you haven't voted yet, and use the hashtag WGLEU on Twitter to get involved, to send us fan art, predictions, whatever else. You will know what to do with the hashtag and with Twitter. And yes, 64% for Synergy currently.
Okay. People getting behind them. I guess the results are telling a fair bit of the story right now.
I mean, Stronk is coming out of a win as well from the Go 4 Cup on Sunday.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. And their team is super active in those as well, and we don't maybe give enough sort of exposure to those as we maybe should. Yeah. But here's the thing as well. The last time that we saw Stronk play on Ghost Town, it was the MV Papa show. It was that epic match that went to that sort of tiebreaker, or went very, very long, and it was actually 3-1 to Utopia on Ghost Town. It was huge, huge stuff from them. But Stronk Siema, despite their performance on this map being maybe not what they would have liked, they know the way around it here. They do know how to play this one. Yeah,
and there's also another important result to mention. When they play against Kazakru on tiebreaker, they managed to pick up that attacking round. It was a 4-4. They managed to win on the attack, Kazakru on the defense. So it shows them they do know how to play the map, especially when they are on the offensive.
Hey guys, let's take a closer look now before we head into this game at Ghost Town.
Ghost Town. The first absolutely symmetrical map made especially for 7 versus 7 games. The teams start the battle on opposite sides. There are numerous ways to attack here. One of the bases is located in the central square, the other one at the top of the city. The hardest battles are usually fought for it, and this calls for the use of heavy tanks.
Here we go, Ghost Town it is to start things off. Stronk Siema favoured on this map on the attack side, and Synergy defending, and High Life is actually picked up the T29 here as well. Lovely strong turret, great for hull down.
Yeah, and this is also Synergy's map. This is the one they chose. They decided to go on the defensive side, so clearly they know how to defend that northern push, which Stronk Siema are going for immediately. As pretty standard lineup for Stronk Siema with the 5100s, the IS3s, no T54 lightweight for them. Catch me playing the T32, which is also pretty normal. As that beautiful little angle found by Winnie the Pooh doesn't do any damage, just kind of gets absorbed by that 5100s turret.
Not always often that we see the 5100 with a bounce, but the turret is relatively durable compared to the rest of that tank. So Winnie the Pooh set up here, you said Synergy. They chose this map, they feel like they know how to deal with that northern push, so let's see if Winnie the Pooh has the gumption to hold on here now as a couple shots come towards him, and he is taken a little bit lower, and those 3 IS3s trundle over on towards this cap. How does Synergy respond to this one right now? Looks like they're backing up a little bit. Catch me trying to put some pressure on John Corleone here, and both teams getting ready for a push.
A little bit strange. I mean, it was a 2 versus 3 situation, and Synergy actually wanted to back up. I think that's a little bit unnecessary, especially considering Catch Me could have got taken down pretty low, same as Lucas Yasti. So pressure definitely on to Synergy. We'll see if they'll actually test their metal. You can see that W131, clearly one of the main focuses for Synergy around the corner, as these 3 tanks do finally decide to push.
Time is ticking down now. These 3 tanks need to push down, and Catch Me is going to be the only guy on the corner. Lucas Yasti will be watching off the side, and Steroids gets pushed onto. Nadine is ignoring him now. He needs to get the reset. There's 1 second left. They won't get it done. It's going to be Stronk Siema, but no! Just at the last second. That's a new octave for me, and the reset comes in at the final moment, only just as Synergy continue to barrel down this hill.
All the pressure was on Ilya, then he had to actually hit that shell as Needing does come from behind.
And he's trying to get to work on towards his IS3s, who by and large aren't really looking at him, but now he has commanded their attention in Racing 7, Guccio and Formula 1. All want a piece of that French tank, but John Corleone is making them pay for this one, still doing damage from off towards the side, and Catch Me is getting ganged up on by a large number of tanks here. Stronk Siema holding up. They're a little bit behind in health points right now as the Cassiasti and Matchweek get a nice little double up there, and it didn't in total best drop down. It's a 5v4 situation here. Have Synergy committed too much to this reset?
That was such an important roll by Nidin. He actually almost hit all of his shells, did a good amount of damage, and kept 4 tanks of Stronk Siema in one location, focusing on him. That allows Synergy to basically win that city engagement. They're in a good location now to take down the rest of Stronk Siema. The hit points is very close, but I don't know. I think this one could go either way. Still, the one thing Stronk Siema is going for them, they got those IS-3s alive, and they are one of the best teams along with Utopia with that Russian tier 8 heavy tank.
Surely they're going to be feeling somewhat confident now. Keep an eye on Zamik here off in the corner. He is in that WZ-131. He has to be careful right now in that tank. He is a one-shot to an IS-3. And he's just being a little bit cheeky there on that far eastern side. Iliad now trying to go towards Formula. We'll get a shot on towards him. And it's going to force the hand here of Stronk Siema. They're going to push all these IS-3s in towards taking him out. Not a bad idea considering they do have those health points to work with, but Racing takes a big hit as well. Iliad responds well on towards Guccio. Formula 1's a one-shot, but he'll be able to get a shot before ducking away. At least he must connect this one and make it work for him, because Racing's right behind him as well. Great shot from the side. Where did that come from? Another IS-3, of course, off towards the side of the screen. That's Cassiasti putting the pressure on to Iliad. Zamika, though, from the back gets on towards Racing 7. Formula 1 might be in danger as well. He can realise this. And Zamika now will be looking straight towards him. Iliad goes down. Formula 1 goes down. 2v3. 1v3 situations. John Corleone contributes at just the right time. He's looking for Guccio. He'll have the first shot here. But it's very, very important that he can sustain through a little bit of this. Guccio now, he's going to get surrounded. Ultimately, it's what's going to happen. But he's making the smart decision. He's pushing up. He takes a shot there. He has to be careful. Needs to get the front of his tank towards Winnie the Pooh. Otherwise, he'll get the finish off. Zamika won't be able to connect with that one. Can Winnie the Pooh? Yes, he can. And with 152 points of health left between their tanks, Synergy get that first round. I mean, you said it. They picked this map. They chose defense. They thought they knew how to deal with that northern push. But I'm not overly convinced.
No, it was so close. I mean, at the end of the day, they all let it on Iliad. He had to hit that shell with the IS-3s. All the other tanks were trying to deal with the T-32. He managed to hit it. They managed to get the reset down to 34, but he was so close. And, you know, at the end of the day, Stronk Siema needed another half a second, maybe even less, to get that cap successfully completed. So such a close game from both these two teams. I think it came down to those engagements. I think the IS-3s kind of put themselves in an awkward situation. They didn't manage to fight their way out of it. For instance, Formula 1 could have won that engage, but didn't shoot for some reason. He didn't take down the T-32, the IS-3 even. And that allowed Synergy to surround those tanks, take them out. Also a massive roll by the T-32, 374 damage. The average, of course, is 320. So, yeah. I mean, that kind of roll definitely helps you out in those really close, tight situations.
Absolutely. They're doing some serious work there, and that one shot to reset the cap, it doesn't get any closer than that. It really does not. Stronk Siema almost had that. It was ridiculous. And I mean, then from there, you said, yes, it looks okay for them. They're left with these 4 IS-3s, but you've got to hand it to Synergy. They knew what they were up against, and they exploited that as well.
Yeah, they had Zamika on the side. Yeah. So he was getting good shots onto the tanks that are crossing towards that city side. You had the IS-3 up north. You had all sorts of different things coming in at the same time, and those IS-3s pushing around the corner. Iliad, in his IS-3, 100% HP, 2.5k damage this round. Just because he had so much HP, it took so long, especially considering Formula didn't shoot for some reason, for him to go down, allowing Synergy to get the win. Not
sure why that was. I think he was overstating the importance of his shot as well. I think he had Racing behind him as well. So there was 2 IS-3s on a one shot. The problem is they got bottlenecked up there, and Zamika was in the perfect spot to get the finish on those guys as well. WZ-131, yeah, sure, it's not exactly a scalpel of a gun, but it can make those shots from the rear, those IS-3s. There's not much they can do for it. Yeah. But what choice did Stronk really have there? They had to kind of push on into that. They realized they didn't have the time, and they were just going to give Synergy more time to pick them apart. Yeah, I think they should have come from 2 angles. And technically, could have just gone 2 versus 1 against Iliad and probably still won that. Right. Or they could have the other 3 from the other side and not have Synergy just focusing all on one tank. So I think that was more of a kind of factor. But, you know, it's a temptation when you're playing the IS-3s in big numbers just to push in all at the same time and be a kind of unstoppable, unmovable object. But we'll have to see if they can improve. That's such a super close game. It came down to a few factors, very close factors. And, you know, at the end of the day, I think Stronk Siema can still keep their heads high after that round. Well, let's see what they can do now. As you said, one of our closer rounds we've seen, 126 hit points separating these two teams. But sometimes it's not about the hit points. It's about what you do with them now. Let's see here, though, as these teams are rolling out now in this second round of Ghost Town. Synergy with that first defensive round, and it's been important. Stronk Siema, will they mix it up here? Will they go for something different? Or will they just hope that some of those shots, some of those rolls, that RNG's is looking over them in this game?
I don't see why they should. I think they looked at their last execution and saw that really it was just the way they played it as opposed to their tactic, which lost them that game. So there's no reason to change things up. I think Synergy, considering this is their map choice, that was too close for comfort. So if anything's going to change, it has to be them. I think Stronk Siema are going to stick to what they know, stick to their guts, and push forward. And so far this season, we've only seen this map 12 times. It's been exactly 50-50 on both sides. But this northern cap, this northern pressure, still is a strong tactic and is not an obvious counter.
No, sometimes you just need to go for that Hail Mary reset and then brawl it out. Nothing is set in stone, especially for either of these two teams from what we've seen so far. A couple bounces there for Catch Me. T32, lovely in a hold down position. It's often why they used to say no cons about it, but times have changed a little bit now, and as has the meta. It's a good shot though there, good roll as well. On towards Elliot. Well, not too bad as Steroids now coming up as well, but Nidin is in position here. He's got the flank on, and he's going to be looking towards Steroids.
Yeah, but it's Catch Me and Nidin. Steroids and Catch Me onto Nidin, but you can see those tanks up north actually pushing in. This is a 4 versus 2.
That's right, Steroids, Catch Me now. Just have to be careful. Just need to try and hold on for a little while as Total Best and Nidin now just trying to think about whether they should jockey forward, back it up. Maybe as Catch Me does go down. That's an important tank taken out. The T32 is gone. The way is clear now for Synergy to make the way down that hill. But still, Synergy have been made to pay a little bit for that one. And Zamika and Speed, you can see in the corner now, pushing together. T39, T32 and a 29 there. But they're going to get ganged up on here. You can see Stronk Siema. They've adapted. They've moved their capping tanks now, and they want to push it straight down the throat of Synergy. And
also, those tanks were super slow, so they actually deserve to get caught out in this situation. You can see the 3 IS3s of Stronk Siema. They want to push earlier on this time.
Lucasiasi goes down. Zamika continues to do work here. Mahylov is going to be the target right now. He drops, but Total Best and Elliot, it's a 3v3 situation. In fact, you know, Stronk Siema pushed into a 4v3, and 4m1 going to get chunked down super heavily. Guccio and Racing are trying to keep their friend alive by getting rid of John Corleone, but it's not going to be enough. Nadine is yet again on the side. You can't see him on his screen right now. He's off towards the bottom right, and Siema, Stronk Siema, should I say, have walked right into a trap. They're going to get demolished.
And great little play by Synergy to actually block the damage going towards Iliot. So good play. I love the way Iliot plays. He's been doing very well this match so far. Really knowing how to play as a team, keeping his tanks alive, keeping himself alive, and also, you know, just being a top damage dealer. He's obviously one of the unused players at the beginning of the season for Synergy, so good to see him performing. I mean, quickly going through the damage, 2.9k by Nidin, good play by him as well, coming down low, pushing up onto the 2 tanks sitting up there. It was Catch Me in the T32 and Steroids in the 5100, unloading all his shells, reloading, and basically doing the same thing again.
You did say that Synergy picked defense. This was their pick, and you said that they thought they had a plan for this northern sort of push. You're all right. They definitely have now. So, you know, they've managed to take care, I guess, of the attacking stuff of Stronk Siema. This is where they made that little flanking move, and Nadine getting up behind them. Once you take down that T32, it's almost as if, you know, that's the key to unlocking everything now, and it even forced Stronk Siema's hand as well. At this point, they weren't that far behind.
I think Nidin caught those 2 tanks by surprise, and, you know, Steroids didn't exchange favorably, only did 624 damage. And you see these 3 tanks, I think they could have done more damage towards Nidin and Total Best in those 5100s, and then they push into a 5 versus 4 situation. Total Best does run out of shells, and Nidin's still on reload, but Nidin's not that far to coming off reload. When he does, he finishes these 3 off very easily. It's game over. So I think, you know, just catching Stronk Siema by surprise, super strong push off the cap, not going for that one at all, knowing that they lost the AMX 200, knowing that they lost the T32, they can't cap, they can't win it via, you know, that pressure.
Yep, so it's almost like they're throwing caution to the wind there and just going for the push. They got baited into that though, I said that, but you saw it on that last clip, they moved in towards that cityscape. Nadine off screen was able to get a full sort of auto loader clip out there as well. It was like a 5v3 that, you know, Stronk Siema pushed themselves into, but that's okay. They have a chance now to make things up on the defensive side. And you know, what do the stats sort of tell us about sort of attack and defense? It's even.
Yeah, 50-50. We've only seen it 12 rounds this season.
Right.
It's been like literally, apart from Lakeville, pretty much the most underplayed map. I mean, even Lakeville's more popular. I mean, it's been played 32 times this season, so almost 3 times more than Ghost Town. So it's such an equally and even map. Like it's exactly it's exactly down the middle. So it's hardly surprising that it's 6-6. but just not particularly favoured by the teams. And we do see very similar tactics from them, of course, with that northern side push. Now, of course, Stronk Siema now on the defensive side, Synergy on the attacking side. What do? I think, you know, Synergy is uncharacteristically, they're not characteristically a very offensive team, but I think we could also see some really strong push trying to catch Stronk Siema off guard. If
they're confident, though, I think they'll come forward. I think that's one thing I've learned about Synergy. If everything's working the way they'd like it to, they seem to be happy enough to come forward. Yeah. I want to check in with Manny briefly before we jump into this one. You said even before the start of the game that, you know, this is one of those more balanced maps. Even in your opinion, what you've seen is designed to be symmetrical, but it seems like Synergy just have a better strategy going into this one.
It obviously seems like. Let's see how it changed when they switched to the other side. But people at home are still rooting for Synergy, even with the vote having a bit even out, like a bit more balanced, 57% for Synergy, so only a slight favor left. But yes, the match goes on. Currently it's heavily in favor of Synergy. Maybe it will reflect on the vote a little later on, so everyone that haven't voted yet, head over to our Facebook page and get involved.
That's it. You know the drill, guys. By now you should at least win yourself some gold as well for getting involved. Let's have a look here. Synergy want to get involved right now. They are coming forward straight towards this city. Not really biased towards the northern side so much here. I mean, is it reasonable for them to try and pick it out some kind of even fight in the middle of the map and then sort of work around that? Or are they actually going to push a cap here?
I don't think they're going to push a cap, although they've already done it. You can see that Stronk Siema predicted that, and that's why they're pretty aggressive into that location. The interesting thing is they got the T-32 and a T-29, pretty similar tanks, and both in forward hull-down positions. So I think what they're going to do is just play the standoff game, try and get the exchanges in against Stronk Siema early, get the crucial ramp locations on Ghost Town, and then, you know, come from a different direction. You know, Zamika's still in this game. He's still an effective player in the LTTB. And I guess another important thing would, of course, be the 5100s. You know, at the end of the day, when you're going for the exchange, when you're trying to do the damage, the 5100 is the most important part of that.
Right, you can see there, it's almost a symmetrical lineup for a symmetrical map that Synergy have brought here. T-32 watching one diagonal road and a T-29 watching the other. As you said, both are great for hull downs. I mean, the T-29 is a little bit more high profile based on that T-30 tank destroyer, as well as sort of based on the T-34, which you can get as a premium in the game. It does have a very hard turret. Not as high caliber gun, of course, but it definitely can do some damage if you let it go for a while. It used to have weak spots on the ears on its turret. You get to see the T-29. It's quite a distinctive looking thing. But now that has all been shored up. So it's a decent bet to take into some of these games at Tier 7. And, you know, Synergy values so much that hull down ability, the free damage, the fact that they can literally force Stronk Siema away with that kind of strategy. And they actually want to go in towards the middle here with these tanks.
Yeah, I mean, I completely missed that. You know, because they've got the two ramps, the two main ways into the sides of the cap, they can just hold Stronk Siema in place. And if Stronk Siema wants to take this cap back, they need to be aggressive, as Zamika and Speed do want to engage.
Zamika's getting outplayed thus far, but obviously the LTTB's got a little bit of a more powerful gun. Zamika's driver did sort of die, so obviously the rest of his crew members with that Brothers in Arms perk are just chipping in and trying to keep him alive. I think he'll win this one, but if he does, it'll be only just. No, Speed gets the better of him there. A little bit sloppy from the Synergy Tier 6 player, on the Tier 7 one in this case, and now Stronk Siema, bit of flexibility, a little bit of an advantage in that regard, but they're looking over towards this middle cap and they haven't really made huge inroads. It's just the one capturing tank for Synergy right now, just to lure Stronk Siema in.
Nidin does respond straight away onto Speed. I mean, let's be honest, as Zamika, if he had hit that round, he would have probably won that exchange, but yeah, this is going well for Synergy. They've got the cap on the way, which is, of course, just adding the pressure. I think you'll see a strong push from Stronk Siema. They need to find a weak spot in Synergy's lineup, and they have spotted Nidin because he did shoot against Speed.
He was quite out towards the side here, but look at the regroup here from Synergy. They're moving away from the east now towards the south, setting up in this position. The T-29 is there, so is the 32. The IS-3 is still sitting on the cap, but he'll move off if he has to. Good damage towards Guccio here. Nice little double tap in his direction. Now the cap is sort of being reset here. Steroids and Nadine have to go head-to-head. Steroids is out for revenge after last map, when Nadine managed to get the drop on him, managed to sneak up behind him and get the kill. And Winnie the Pooh is going to be there to chip him with his damage as well. He blocks the shot from Nadine. That would have been the finish potentially on towards him. Steroids now has no ammunition left, whereas Nadine has 3 shells, and Winnie the Pooh is going to chase him down.
That was a massive shot there by Steroids. He just couldn't quite get it onto Winnie the Pooh because of the angle, and it will find Winnie the Pooh the kill.
Steroids is definitely going to go down here. Not much that can be done. It's what happens when you're in an auto loader and you're out of shots. So Synergy on the periphery, cleaning up some of those tanks towards the sides, and now they go for the Dewey. the chewy, gooey center of Stronk Siema right now, and that's Guccio on the IS-3. He goes down. Catch Me and Racing 7 are off to the left as well, and they are just outnumbered right now. Synergy have played it so well. Even despite losing Zamika early, they've recovered from that one. It did some serious work. The block, the Hail Mary save as well for Winnie the Pooh was beautiful. Now Racing 7 and Catch Me are up against the wall.
Yeah, he's going to be game over. It's going to be game over for Racing 7 and Formula. The last two remaining, obviously Formula, one of the new players for Stronk Siema, only been for a few weeks. Playing pretty well. He had a pretty good matchup last round, but at the end of the day, it's still going to be Synergy to walk away with this round pretty convincingly. I mean, 3,000 damage towards their side. They really just did play well. I mean, super solid tanks, holding the angles, making sure that wherever Stronk Siema peaked, they would get the exchange as well. And then once they won those peaks, push forwards, use the advantage, and take them down. So great play by Synergy to bring this match 3-0.
And this is their choice here. So while, as you said, we haven't really seen much from Synergy on Ghost Town at all. They had it was an ace up their sleeve. Now they're starting to bring it out, and it's almost ironic. It's like, all right, Stronk Siema, we know you like this map. We know you favour it. We're going to choose it. We're going to choose what side that we start on, and we're going to make you look like amateurs on this map.
And we've seen that a few times this season. I mean, we've seen a lot of teams pick the other team's theoretically most favourite map because they've seen a lot of material on them. They've seen what they can do, and they maybe even just know the standard tactics here on Ghost Town. So far, we've seen a northern play push, we've seen a northern play defensive side, and we've seen a middle play push and a middle play defensive side, and it's gone all the way for Synergy so far. Looking through the damage quickly, 2.7k play done by John Corleone, and you can see how that positional play by Synergy managed to work for them. They held that middle area, put the T-32 hold down, just winning those exchanges against Catch Me time and time again. It's like a dream position for a T-32. And the T-29 even did 1.3k. And yeah, great play by them, pushing around, taking the advantage against Steroids, coming from behind, keeping the rest of Stronk Siema at bay, keeping them back, and then going on to finish off the game. We
have not often seen teams take these Tier 7 heavies and use them effectively. Sometimes we've seen Tigers being picked up, we've seen Team 29s, especially even over on maps like Himmelsdorf. Tigers have been popular on there, and they haven't been effective. They sort of get blown up really early, or they just take a lot of damage, they get focused down. This time as well, Synergy understand the topography of this map. It does have that hill in the middle. You are, as a team that's defending against some sort of push towards you, at an advantage if you have these hull down sort of tanks. I mean, the T-29, I think it's, you know, it still does pack a punch as well if you give them some time. It's got a faster reload than the 32, and the head is just as hard. It's a bit of a bigger turret. In the side, you can penetrate it here, but this is sort of when we saw the wrap up from Synergy here as Winnie the Pooh looking at Guccio. By here, it was pretty much already done. Yeah, it's already game over. But this is the point where Synergy just take an advantage and follow through to actually bring a win in. So that's, you know, obviously a very crucial moment for them. But yeah, going to a second defensive round, we'll have to see what Stronk Siema can do. I would take like a kind of Virtus Pro-esque. I would just be aggressive, you know, just go straight down the line, catch Synergy by surprise, because they're one of these teams that like they train and train and train and train and train, but you can only train against the normal setups, the normal tactics, and I don't think a lot of the teams these guys are training again are playing Ghost Town. I think they are training on Himmelsdorf, they're training on Ruhenberg, and that's why we're seeing Himmelsdorf and Ruhenberg. But when you're like, okay, to your scrim partner, what are we going to play today? What are we going to play? We're going to play we're going to play Ghost Town. They'd be like, no, why would I play Ghost Town? I don't play Ghost Town this season. Let's play Ruhenberg. So fair enough to Synergy for actually having solid tactics for this one. That's right. And you know, the fact of the matter is that anything can happen during the finals, and being that team with the ace in the hole on one of those matches, or one of those maps, should I say, that can bring them out when we have a sort of more veto process, or the way that'll work at the finals as well. I mean, there's so many other factors to consider when we're playing Atlanta. That's where the money is, of course, and all the glory. So Synergy, you know, set themselves up well for this one. I feel like I have confidence in them, even if they don't make top 2. I'm confident they'll make it through into the playoffs. Yep. I think they've gone from strength to strength here as well. The changes that they've made since sort of the reassignment of Stalker as their in-game leader have been subtle. I think they're still a strategic team at its core, but it seems like they're less prone to flights of folly, as it were. Yeah, exactly. They're less prone to inconsistency. I think that's really how we can sum this one up. Sure. And it's looking very good for them. I think, you know, in those high-pressure situations when you could potentially lose, and there was a couple of moments there for Synergy, you know, a couple of hairy moments, but they managed to work through it, and I think it's an attribute which they haven't shown in previous rounds and previous matches in the season so far. But anyway, 4th round, and this could potentially be a fourth
map round for Synergy, putting them, of course, onto match point, going into the second map, which will be Mines. And really, it would be up to Stronk Siema to pull out all the stops and stop the rot, stop Synergy from this unmistakable pressure that they're being put on. They're putting on at the moment. Now, it looks to me like Synergy are setting up very much like they did last time, and again, Stronk Siema very much the same, just making sure that Northern Cap, which has been very popular with the teams, is secure and safe.
I feel like Stronk Siema suffer from the same one-dimensionality as we've seen from teams like No Mercy and some of those teams towards the lower side of the ladder, your ASAPs and the like. I think their mechanical ability is good, but when you got a team like Synergy who are bringing many and varied, very watertight strategies against them, things that they haven't seen before, things that they haven't had time to think about and adapt to, it seems like they flounder and they almost revert to a default. In their sort of play, a default strategy. Let's just do the standard push here and let's try and unravel them. Let's try and use our T-37 to get some information and go from there. But Synergy, they're too canny for that kind of play. And if Stronk Siema aren't going to take them by surprise, then Synergy get to play their own game. And they get to play it all the way to the bank. Yeah, it's really what Stronk Siema wants to try and avoid, just Synergy playing their own game. And I think that's a mistake which Virtus Pro also fell into. So it's definitely something that's going to stick in the back of their mind, but Synergy are already at an advantage here. Very slow start from both teams. Of course, Stronk Siema on the defensive side, no reason to be aggressive. And you might have this exchange between Speed and Zamika first. It was one of the catalysts for the previous push by Stronk Siema when Speed, despite taking out Zamika, actually fell down to Nidin as AMX 5100. So there's all these kind of exchanges that do have a big effect despite being lower tier tanks, as the cap has started once again, this time with Iliot and not Nidin with his IS-3. Look, keep your eyes on the bottom of that diamond, the southern side, the 5100 of Zmika. This time it would be of Nidin, sorry, it was last time as well. He is in position right now, he's moving, there's a few more tanks going towards the southern side, so they turn this from more of an east to west bias fight to a north and south one. And Zamika trying to be very cheeky with Speed, he's just sort of inching up. He knows exactly where Speed is, by the way, he knows he's there, but he's not lit, and he doesn't want to take the chance of firing a shot and revealing himself and giving Speed free damage, which is actually what gave him the win over Zamika in their last little head-to-head. So Iliot's on the side here, as you said, and you can see Racing, Lucasiasti, all trying to move up a little bit here. Guccio as well, captain of Stronk Siema, is just trying to motivate this one a little bit more, but they will actually, Synergy that is, move off the cap. They'll stop that one now because Nidin got the pick up on towards Speed, and that's that little advantage. It doesn't look like a lot on paper, but it can translate into a lot more. But good double tap. Only one going on towards Zamika though there. He goes low, but still, Synergy have the LTTB free to roam right now. The amount of DPS he can throw down to tanks with their backs to him is just going to be devastating.
Yeah, this is a huge factor here for Synergy. As long as Zamika doesn't throw this advantage away, he's just going to be able to poke and prod and be such a pain to Stronk Siema from the side and behind. Nidin also trying to do some damage. Those two have been pairing up very well indeed, and it's good to see that despite not having a single player from the original lineup, Synergy are performing up to what's been their usual standard, as Zamika just wanting to get the spots. And even if he doesn't get any damage, as long as he's distracting Stronk Siema and spotting locations where they should be, which he will be doing now, and not seeing anything, he's giving his team a distinct advantage, which hopefully will go on to make work for them.
Okay, so Stronk Siema are making a maneuver here, and again, in fairly Stronk Siema style, it looks like they're trying to group up a large amount of their force. The Iron Fist sort of punching through motion we often see from Polish teams and their beloved IS-3s. John Corleone there will be the first line of defense, holding on with that T-32. 3 tanks are on the cap here, so Synergy really exploiting the time it takes for Stronk Siema to make a move, but Nadine and Turtlebest move off that one. They might have to give John Corleone out for dead. He's up on the ledge here, so by and large he should be fairly safe. Iliot though, will he be caught here? He has to get off the cap right now and cancel that one out. Synergy, they want to try and force Stronk Siema into giving them the fight that they want.
Yeah, but only 2 minutes and 35 seconds left on the clock. Really not any damage done. I think Synergy just has to go for the damage game right now. They have to brawl, they have to exchange. The cap is completely out of the question because Stronk Siema with a very big push-up, not going for the exchanges, has just completely got the cap under control from pretty much every angle. But I think they need to use Zamika. They need to use a 5100s. They need to find angles. Otherwise, Stronk Siema is going to bring that cap, that timing down to 0, and of course the win, as they are in the defense.
With 5 or 4 IS-3s and a T-32, Stronk Siema have such a robust lineup here. A lot of health points between them, a lot of potential damage as well. So, you know, you can see Synergy are actually not really keen to take that head-to-head fight here. They're using Winnie the Pooh and John Corleone here just to work their way around. Total Best and Nidin. Keep an eye on those two there. It's only Steroids for Stronk, who's on a 5100, and he has to deal with 2 on the side of Synergy. And, of course, Samika is also free to roam in that LTTB. Looks like the fight is going to be taken here right now with Cassiasti. He's going to be able to avoid 2 shots coming towards him now. The IS-3 line is about to be drawn here by Stronk Siema, but Guccio takes a heck of a lot of damage. Racing manages to block one of the shots towards him. It's good focus fire right now for Synergy. This might be all the distance. Total Best is coming in from behind. This is a disaster for Synergy. This might not work out. Those Steroids is doing work still with the 5100. Gets chunked down, almost 1400 damage. And Catch Me is in a very nasty position. He has been caught well and truly. And Total Best that did as well, doing so much work. Those 5100s have been super important, but now he's the push of the IS-3s on towards Winnie the Pooh. The High Life is in the background, trying to support John Corleone. I think he has the hull down right now. He's going to drop it towards the Cassiasti. No, he wasn't able to get the damage. That would have been devastating for him, but still, he can't move from that position, mind you. John Corleone cannot move. He has hull down in that tank, so he can still fire, essentially. A bit of a mistake, but it looks like it might not hurt Synergy because the damage has been done.
I think Synergy's well ahead. They really mind if John Corleone can't move. He's the team captain. He's making the call, so no one can really blame him for his work. Anyway, as Total Best will go for the ram, and of course it's behind that IS-3, so the directional damage is going to be great, taking him down despite the differences between the weights of the tanks.
That's exactly right. Depending on where you're rammed in the tank will determine the amount of damage done. Now, John Corleone couldn't hold down from that position, so if he'd actually dropped on top of Cassiasti, that would have been a ridiculous amount of damage, because I think if you can sandwich another tank, it just keeps ticking up. You pretty much one-shot them. If you watch any RNG, you should probably know that. But there it is, 4-0 to Synergy. This is them. This is what we see from them. Sometimes when their strategy game's on point, man, they did the same thing to Virtus Pro. So, you know, Stronk Siema can't feel so bad about this one, because this is pure Synergy through and through.
I mean, it is Synergy. Like, you even saw, you know, situations there where they were blocking for each other. They were putting Stronk Siema in awkward situations. There was actually some team damage in that game from Formula onto Racing 7. So, really good play. I think it was obvious what Stronk Siema did wrong there. They had a lot of tanks in one location. They got crossfired by Total Best. They got absolutely destroyed despite some misses from Synergy at the beginning. They should have just gone straight off that hill, use the hill speed just to go flanky in, come from the side, do damage to Synergy. Instead, they stayed there for too long. They got exchanged on by like 2 or 3 different sides. You can see they get exchanged on by John Corleone from the kind of the front right, Total Best from the back, and no, front left, front right, and back. So that's a lot of angles. And despite Steroids doing good damage here, Total Best just makes up for it.
And they turn and focus him down as well. Look at Steroids there, just taking 1,314 damage. And Total Best is free to wreck Catch Me from behind and still had one more shot, I think, as well to use.
Yeah, but, you know, screw him. Just they all need to push in on against Winnie the Pooh, because if you push in against Winnie the Pooh, John Corleone can't do jack. So they should just, as soon as they exchange and kill Nidin, start play out for Synergy, push him, take down Winnie the Pooh, negate John Corleone. You could see John, maybe he was, yeah, okay, he was in a situation where he could take down Luciasti with the squash.
It's a bit risky,
but
though.
It still would have, if he wanted to actually do damage in that position, he would have had to drive all the way around. Yeah. So if they just pushed in, they would have negated John Corleone, they would have negated Total Best, and they might have had a chance of winning.
Yeah, as good as the turret depression is on a 32, it's not enough to overcome that kind of
shoot like directly below you.
And then he sits on his side trying to do damage as well, and I'm pretty sure that is also quite tricky. Yeah. It's not much, it's only, it's weird. And even Ollie's getting a bit flustered there as well. He seems to have, would you have liked to have been the commander there for a Stronk Siema?
Would have been, damn it, just push down the hill, for God's sake. Just stop sitting there getting wrecked. So Winnie the Pooh doing almost 2k there in his IS-3, 1.8k from Total Best. 1.5k by Luciasti, and Steroids, of course, that man from the side doing 1.3k, so he basically bounced 1 or 2 shells. Not that bad, but you can't just rely on one 5100 unloading all 6 shells.
Mm-hmm. Well, there it is. Melly, Ghost Town goes in favor of Synergy in a very impressive display.
And we already talked about it so many times before. It is almost impossible to recover for a team from a 5-0 deficit. But yes, maybe Mines will help people. You're currently voting strong for...
4-0 deficit.
4-0 deficit.
You can't recover from a 5-0 deficit because you've already lost. No, you didn't.
Did I say 5-0?
We knew what you meant.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, I wanted to say 4-0.
Yeah.
I said something wrong. That makes you happy, right?
You get double tap with a way. You just continue on with your life.
That's enough out of you, all right? Carry on.
No,
No.
I'm leaving. Bye.
Wow.
No, people, it's all about you. So currently you're voting 61% for Synergy. And stop
Sorry, he
being
tickled me.
weird.
He tickled me.
tickled you. How dare you, Mitch?
I'm a professional.
I'll
I don't
just
know why
continue,
I did that.
okay?
Yeah,
So
sorry.
people head over to our Facebook page, facebook.com/WGLEU, and get involved in our voting. We will head into a short break before heading into Mainz. Currently, as you saw, Synergy 4-0 leading against Strong. Was going so well until here. But yes, people, get involved. The vote will close right before we head into the second map. And yes, we'll be back soon, and hopefully you are too.
Wait. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the WGL EU Week 10, day number 2. And our second match is already well and truly underway in 4 rounds down. We see that all 4 of them have gone in favour to Synergy on the map of Ghost Town. Yeah,
it's been a really one-sided affair. Synergy winning both attacking rounds and defending rounds quite convincingly. Apart from that first round, it was pretty easy stuff for them. You know, winning it around, for instance, with 3,500 damage still in the pool. So we'll move on to a second map, which is of course Mines, where Strong Siema will be on the attack, with Synergy on match points. So they only have to win one of the next 4 rounds to walk away with the 3 points they need.
That's right. It's a huge buffer, and as Melly sort of pointed out earlier on, we'd never see teams come back from that 0-4 deficit. So it's a huge comeback for them to make here. And seeing on the ladder, Strong Siema, it's conceivable that they have a chance to get in sort of that top 6 there. A few conditions need to be met. But right now, it's not looking good for them. I mean, they're going to have 1 match left to get points, and really the 13 is the most they can hope for. It won't be enough to get the top 6.
Yeah, I think it's, you know, now they can only get 2 points as a maximum. I don't think they can even make that top 6 anymore. I think it would be very unlikely. So right now, they're just playing for the relegation spots. Want to fight an easier team in the relegation. Obviously, they won't be able to drop all the way down to 12th place. Yep. So, yeah, it's all about relegation for the Strong Siema, I think.
Also, they don't have a lot to lose here, and you have to wonder how this will affect their strategy as well. They should know this. Yep. You know, some teams can be sort of prone to tilt mentality at this point in the game. 4 rounds down, but it also means that you have a chance to pull out something brilliant. We have to hope, of course, that Strong Siema could sort of turn up here and sort of make things happen. I mean, Mines for them, has it really been a successful sort of map? I think we've seen lots of ups and downs from them here, but
yeah, I mean, we've only seen them play it 6 times, 16% win ratio, but only 6 times, so it doesn't really tell us that much.
Small sample size.
Exactly. So I think when you get plus 10 rounds, you can really take, okay, so that team's good or bad on it. Of course, we saw Synergy go against Kazaku, get absolutely crushed on this map, but again, they only have to win one of the next 4 rounds to win it, and 3 rounds they want to get the 3 points. So it should be easier. It should be an easier game for them. They're on the defensive side, which statistically is the easiest side to play on Mines.
That's right. But as you said, it is one of those sort of more even maps. We've seen it played a fair few times. Next to your standard Himmelsdorf, Ruhenberg, this is one of the next most popular maps here. And as a result, it means we've seen some strategic diversity as well. I mean, we were treated to some excellent stuff in that last map. That was really, really nice. And this time, I mean, Strong Siema, question is it going to be that sort of generic cookie cutter build? Are they going to go for just the standard approach, or are they going to mix it up a little bit? They have to, because Synergy will always be able to sort of catch them for that one. But let's have a look anyway. Let's jump into this map in just a moment. We're going to be heading in. And as you said, defense side for Synergy. Yep. Feeling confident on this one. I mean, are we going to see super aggressive IS3 sort of plays here, do you think, from Strong Siema?
Attacking side for Synergy.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Well, we got one IS3, I can tell you that one straight away, played by Speed, who of course is normally playing
T37.
T37. So you can see Guzio playing the tier 6 this time around. So you can see straight away Guzio, the highest damage lead for Strong Siema for so long, switched over towards that tier 6. So we'll have to see what his role is and how much he does affect this match.
Well, let's go. Jump into this one. Here it is, match point. Synergy now on the precipice of taking this one 5-0, and Strong Siema have to rally against their bonds here to bring it back. Let's see, Synergy have always been a team that we expect to see some crazy stuff from, although the start is fairly standard.
Yeah, both teams not going for the hill. Of course, Strong Siema set up for a hill push because they've seen that Synergy's playing pretty much exclusively T54s, apart from that IS3 played by Nidin. And, well, it's going to be a late push. I mean, Synergy may be thinking, okay, so if we don't push immediately, Strong Siema will be thinking they're coming from a different angle and will be rotating away from that counter hill damage. But it won't be that anyway. Synergy is sitting back, exchanging well against Strong Siema, getting that early damage, and we'll have to see how that one works out for them as they go through this game.
Okay, as you said, Synergy reluctant to move up on towards the hill, and Total Best just going to come forward and get a shot on towards the Cassiasti. Speed is in the IS3, and he's going to try and get up and do some work there as well. A little bit of paint being exchanged there between the Cassiasti and Racing 7. Synergy at the moment seem quite comfortable with playing it like this.
They've literally got everything going for them. They've got the initial exchanges, they've got the hill, they've got the T54 being aggressive, turning those turrets of Strong Siema. They got the spots as well, apart from onto Guzio. They know exactly where everyone is. They're starting to lose the exchanges here, but you can still see with that IS3, especially in that position, Nidin could just poke over, deal crucial damage and continue to whittle down Stronk Siema, and eventually Synergy will have such an advantage, you're talking about 1.5k damage, that they'll just be able to push it through and win this one out. But Zamika is in trouble.
Gucio's going to be looking for him here. He knows his opponent is weak and someone who get the finish, but a shot comes in from the side. It was Mihailov who was watching there from the side of the cliff to try and get one towards Gucio. He might even be looking for a second here, but he will blink out of vision. And Mihailov might have to turn his attention a little bit more towards the center of the map. Yes, Zamika is down, but Gucio there takes another hit. And Synergy would love to equalize the lineups in that regard. Get that 37 off the map because he can be such a pest from behind. Players like Koritz as well love it when they've managed to get the better of their opposite number and can roam free and just harass from behind. But
Synergy did actually allocate quite a lot of resources to take care of Gucio, but it's not like Stronk Siema has taken advantage of that by pushing the T-54s and the IS-3 on the hill to exchange onto Nidin from both sides. They haven't done anything, and you know, Gucio taking down Zamika hasn't really given that much as Synergy do decide to try and push that advantage forwards.
Well, shots on the move here, and as you said, that 33% increase makes the T-54 such a deadly weapon on the move. Steroids now one shot, but Winnie the Pooh puts him out of his misery fairly quickly, leaving Speed on the hill on his own, and this is terrible for him. Now, because we see that Wolfpack is moving up. This is a fairly standard maneuver here for a lot of teams. It's been successful in a lot of cases, pushing up with those 54 lightweights, getting around, and this is forcing the move from Stronk Siema. They're moving across the plane. They're moving out in the open here. This could be dangerous right now. Lucasiasti is there as well. Speed manages to avoid that shot coming in from him, but John Corleone is going to catch on towards Catch Me, and Elliot as well, looking towards the hill. All those lightweights are looking at different targets, but it doesn't matter as long as they're hitting their shots right now, because Stronk Siema are just rolling over and letting it happen to them.
This is game over. I mean, it was game over as soon as those T-54s got into this location, basically unharmed. They could get behind those tanks on the hill, take them down very easily, and, you know, yet despite some damage exchanging towards those hill tanks of Synergy, those blue dots, it just isn't enough, and you can see John Corleone and Elliot just wanting to finish this one out.
Oh, Formula 1 does get the track on towards John Corleone. He clips him, but there's so many shots coming in from those lightweights to make short work of the newest acquisition for Stronk Siema. Now Lucasiasti as well in a bit of a 1v1 with Mihailov for the moment here. That's all he's going to get, because in a moment that silence, that gentleman's duel is going to be broken up by the rest of Synergy, but Mihailov able to finish it off on his own there. And there it is, it's a 5-0, it's a stop. Synergy have done it yet again. This is super impressive play from them, and it really, at no stage did it look like Stronk Siema were even in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't say any better myself. 4-0 on Ghost Town, Lost City, whatever you like to call it, onto Mines. I said at the beginning, once they had that middle location, they literally exchanged well, they had the hill. They pretty much have won it from that point onwards. Unless they truly screwed up, they had that win in the bag, and they just pushed it through. Classic stuff, T-54 push around the side, taking advantage of the two Tier 8 tanks, trying to side scrape or trying to keep spots onto the tanks on the hill, and just taking them out.
All right, well now, Melly, this is it now. We're going to have a look at the league table now as it has been updated, but I mean, we spoke about this one beforehand. You said that Synergy was going to be sort of up there and actually move up 2 places now, above Kaz the Crew and Virtus Pro to 3rd, but of course this could change next week. Still, that top 5 is going to be so hotly contested for these teams.
That's absolutely true. I mean, Kazna Crew is about to play the next match.
Yep.
So would it have influence on the table right now if they took home 3 points?
Absolutely. They're moving to
2
3rd.
2 points?
2 points there. They'd be equal 3rd with Synergy and Virtus Pro.
So either a full win or the full distance would be both useful for Kazna Crew at this point.
Absolutely.
That's cool. So that's a promising 3rd match of the night, as it seems. Yeah. And people, you voted 61% for Synergy. This could actually change in the upcoming minute, because people at home aren't in the second map yet, but on their way. 61%, your call, and you were right. Congratulations. And the next vote will of course be soon online. I will just get the logos right and reset the vote so you guys can get involved on facebook.com/WGLEU, where you just have to click the team vote button right above the timeline, get forward to an app, choose your team's logo, predict the match score, and then send it off and hope for the best. If you're one of the 3 fastest correct predictions, luck is on your side, and you will take home a bonus code containing 500 gold and 8 days of premium. And of course, another way of getting involved is via Twitter, using the hashtag WGLEU, and of course following our Twitter account to stay updated regarding whatever meta, regarding our show or the World of Tanks universe itself. And yes, 3rd match of the night.
It's going to be a good one. I mean, old rivals, Kasna versus Wusa.
Yeah, before we move on, I want to mention a couple more things about the Synergy game. More exclusively about Synergy because they could be going to second place at some point. First of all, the second 5-0 without Stalker, obviously against Wusa. Against Sting even, and now against Stronk Siema. That's a huge scoreline, and they're shown to be like a really top-class team. I mean, possibly even morphing into the kind of ability that Tornado Rocks is showing this season, so that's a massive deal. Second thing is, Stronk Siema's team to actually kill themselves off in that game. They did a lot of team damage. Yeah. They played just very awkwardly around the map, and I think they didn't show how good they actually are in that last match against Synergy.
Yeah, it is a shame as well. And even Carmen, as much as he is Polish biased a little bit, you can maybe expect that. He did call the 50-50 between these two teams. Really, didn't.
Carmen's going insane, I think, because his predictions are getting.
He's afraid to commit. I think.
Is it the second wrong decision from his side for today?
It is indeed.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he said 55-45 in favour of Supreme. So, I mean, it was a close game. I'll give him that one. But
he's always ranging around those mid-market.
Yeah, he never goes more than 60-40. Never more than 60-40.
Yeah. I haven't seen
He's
that
afraid to commit.
Well.
That's the problem. Cosmo, mate, come on. Where's your cojones, bro? Let's make some predictions. Let's do it. But because otherwise we'll just tell you that you're wrong.
It's actually one of the problems with people, I think, generally when they make predictions. Like, they always give themselves an out, like giving yourself an out. You know, that 5%. You know, like, okay, we're all wrong at some point, but I think it's better. Like, you should commit to something. Otherwise, what's the point?
Well, that's what we do.
So if you go down big.
Exactly. You go down fighting. I think that's better than just being somewhere in this weird lukewarm position between right and wrong.
Lukewarm. I like that word.
Oh, well, I'm sure we'll have to see this next one as well. I mean, it's going to be a close one. Cosmo, Carmen, if you may know him, is a very prominent World of Tanks
I'm just setting it up, so people, stay tuned.
So there we go. Stay tuned, guys. We'll be back soon for the next game. It's going to be a cracker. Kasna versus Wusa, old rivals at it yet again right here very soon.